If you learn singing, it means that you're improving your expression skills first, and then you work with your voice as well, which becomes, softer, more with the trust, inviting. Just an example. For example, if I'll speak with you in this way, and I will express myself like that, for sure the perception will be different, and whatever I will speak here, you would not perceive it in a good way. And there are people who struggle with that because there is a gap between their personality and background and this, how do they sound, First of all, I teach people to change sound quality. Then I teach people how to open up the body. It also affects, the life itself. Then the feeling-wise, how to feel confident.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Evgenii. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good indeed. So Evgenii is a vocal coach. So we're gonna talk about sound, voice, singing.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, what is your story in life?
I was born in the north of Russia, in the border with Finland, close to St. Petersburg. In a normal family, usual one, I have sister, which is elder than me. And I would like to tell you a couple of lines, let's say, which goes through all my life. So, the singing, how did I come to singing? At 6 years old, I went to school, and in the first class, my teacher, music teacher, she just was checking the kids around, can they sing or not? Do they have ears, let's say? So, and she said, yeah, you can sing, so come, we invite you to sing and lead the choir. And I ended up to lead the choir for 8 years. It was the choir of boys. And was a lot of contests. I won a lot of contests. In 10 years old, I was on TV first time in the radio. It was a big thing for me, being on the huge stage. So, and after that I started my musical journey, which goes till now. At 13 years old, I started to do rapping. So I met the guys who do rap, and I started to, record songs. Already at 13 years old, I have my first track in studio. So I started to learn how to, write the lyrics. For sure, lyrics were weird, but it was kind of good experience. I started to go to other town with guys making the performance there. Then after that I went to the other school, and I met the guys who played the drums, bass, and invite me to be their guitar player. So I earned on my first job for the first guitar. I started to learn it, and I started to play punk rock. In that time, I started to learn how to also, do punk rock singing, and in my life came the metal music. So all this thing, I have Pantera here, thrash metal band. I was inspired, so I started to learn how to growl, how to scream, and how to navigate through that. So it was time of emo things, and so on, alternative. And I ended up to play in the metal band for 7-8 years. I started to be a frontman of this band, and I started to go on tours with this band, having an albums with different, bands from Sweden, Brazil, US, France, and so on. So that's how, yeah, people get to know us. After that, after playing in a metal band, I started to play reggae. I switched to reggae. My friend gifted to me ukulele, and actually I didn't practice much ukulele that time, but when I went to India first time in my life, I was like, okay, I have ukulele, maybe I will take it with me, so I will practice it. And it was very beneficial because I started to play reggae. I started to learn Bob Marley songs. I started to play, everywhere, in a train, on the streets, in India, and it was a wonderful journey for me. So yeah, I spent maybe 1.5 year to learn particularly how to make the sound like Bob Marley sound or Jamaican style there. In India, I met my Indian classical music teacher. It was the French guy actually. It was not Indian, but he taught us Drupad style. And I was very inspired about that because for me it was game changing. Indian classical music for me actually is very professional one. It's the highly professional. It's my opinion, I can be wrong. But for me it's like that. So I got inspired by this, leading the groups, and in that time already was with a huge experience background. People started to ask me like, how do you sing, how to produce the sound, do you know how to teach? So I was inspired by this teacher and I started to give the groups, first in Russia, in my hometown, and then when I came to India, I started to do it there, and then when I came to Thailand, I started to do it here, and then was like throat singing, yodeling, pop rock styles, and so on, like a lot of things I discovered till now because I'm curious about vocal styles. Yeah, any new one I hear, I just try to copy it and develop. Yeah, so that's my story, musical one.
That's fascinating. You were a huge talent basically from an early age, and it was very natural for you. I mean, this passion, this love for singing, something that came to you as a talent. Is that right?
Look, I perceive talent when we say that someone is talented. I think that we kind of dismiss, the huge amount of hours and effort and job which person involved in that. For sure, I can tell that, something was leading me to singing. That's for sure. I think first inspiration was my grandfather, who used to play the accordion. He had a lot of them, like 5 or 6. So at 4 years old, he was playing to me, and I was like inspired. I remember the feeling of inspiration, of music, like it's the feeling. And that's why maybe I was not rejecting the choir itself. And also I'm very grateful for my first teacher, that she was not this type of teacher who was, making the frame on me. Because I have a lot of students from, conservatories, like professional singers, from music schools, and most of them, they have frames because they learn specifically, notes, singing like this, and then people kind of suffer that they cannot express themselves fully. In my case, I've been, step by step exploring the voices. So in many variations of styles, I didn't have teacher, I just copy. Like I copy the growl, I hear Bob Marley, I copy it, I'm trying to, figure out how to make this sound. So yeah, but teachers, yeah, also are there.
And were your parents always very supportive in your sort of vocal career, singing career?
I can tell that at the beginning when I was in a choir, leading a choir, my actually first teacher, she wanted me to go to Germany and to live there and sing there and lead, be solo singer, let's say. And my parents were like they were okay with it, they agree, and they said, okay, maybe you can try, but I didn't want to go to other countries, so so in this case. But as for life, I don't think that they were so supportive. They were like, okay, yeah, he plays music, good, but they always wanted me to have, high education, and I was not so good at school. I mean, at school I was okay, normal. University also, but I could not decide where I really want to go. So I ended up to be just I'm highly graduated, but in the management, and I've never used my diploma, never worked in this field, so it was just for parents, let's say.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you took like your career, of course, sounds like a lot more fun than a conventional career. I mean, at some point you were in bands, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a bit of a glamorous kind of, thing to do. And was it a lot of fun or?
Yeah, actually, that time was pretty fun. I have fun now too, but that time I enjoyed that we were creating something together and working with the musicians, professional one, because my guitar player, he is professional sound engineer, and he works on a very modern studio. Like he recorded, Onyx band, like this huge hip hop rap band in our hometown. That was huge thing, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun to go other cities and receive a lot of love from the fans of the band because they knew lyrics. They, supported us. We stayed in the places, meet a lot of new people. It was youth, a lot of energy, a lot of like protests, let's say, because in our lyrics and the bands itself, it's hardcore metal things, like punk rock. So we were surrounded by these people, like anarchism and so on. And yeah, I learned a lot of things from there, like how to really work with the equipment, how to lead the group, how to control the space, the crowd, and so on. Yeah, so fun.
Great experience, yeah. And then you said India is a big part of your sort of musical journey, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And where did you end up in India particularly? Which place?
Actually, everywhere, but my main places were Gokarna. This is where I met my Indian teacher, my Indian classical music teacher. But I had I used to play in Goa in the big jams, a lot of musicians there. I went to Manali. I used to play there in the restaurants, cafe. In India, I was a free spirit. First of all, I was young. Another thing was that I could play on the streets, collect the money, busking. Yeah, the life was something like that time.
Very adventurous, it sounds to me, like the hippie lifestyle.
Kind of, yeah.
Also,
I got there a lot of experience. India for me was, I love India in the sense of, it's a very spiritual path because I had a very different life there. I almost died in a slum. I used to live in the villas in India, like I broke my arm. I played with a broken arm, on the streets of Delhi, like in the square, in the middle of Delhi. Like, yeah, a lot of things were happening there. But I guess it gave me, like this experience and awareness that I'm really, I'm okay. I can travel anywhere I want. I can do whatever I want. So I switch from the normal, usual life, working for someone. That's
because your energy is very grounded. You come across as very grounded kind of guy. But of course, what you're telling us, the kind of lifestyle you had as a younger person, touring with bands and then traveling in India, basking, etc., doesn't seem very grounded. But you can reconcile the two, right? The adventurous lifestyle and the calm sort of attitude towards life.
I became this type. I appreciate your share. I came. Yeah, I think first of all, fatherhood made me like that. I am a father already of 3-year-old boy, and actually my son was born in Koh Phangan here, so it's also a very interesting story. I was hippie style of life, and when I came first time in Koh Phangan, I used to, sleep on the beach. I slept on the Zen beach somewhere in first weeks. I was okay with that. Now I'm not this type anymore. But yeah, in the first days, yeah, Koh Phangan just catch me with the musical inspiration as well, because I've been jamming around the Koh Phangan a lot. I met a lot of musicians, so and I was like, wow. Because first time when I came to Thailand, I've been in Koh Samui, and I didn't know about Koh Phangan much, except that people were saying that this is the island of drugs. So people just, you know, on drugs. So I was like, oh, not my thing. But next year I came to New Year's Eve to Pyramid Yoga. There was the festival, 3 days, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try. Yeah, and that was the game changing for me.
Vocal coaching. So I understand that this is sort of one of your latest developments in your career. And can you tell us what is vocal coaching and what is your approach to it? Why people come to you as well?
So I will go with the two sides, you know, like people come to me because they, and I see it nowadays, they have huge inspiration from somewhere, I don't know, from inwards, like inside or outside, and people feel that they need to be expressed, you know, they need to be heard, and they want to connect with their own voice. So they want to be confident, like in public, connecting with the people and express the best of who they are, and that's the main thing. And I have very different variations of clients, because I work in the field of, let's say, breath work, helping some people with heart diseases. I mean, I had and I have students from 3 years old till 83 years old. And for example, with the like old people, yeah, with the age, I work mostly with the body wise. So yeah, it's healthy, about health. People in the middle age, they have issues with, you know, the psychological part. And plus, a lot of people were singing in the past somewhere at school, and something happened, mostly. Like not all cases, but mostly. Someone told them that they don't sound good, or they were like broken at school, you know, teacher just shouted at them or something like that, and they stopped singing. But the wish, you know, the wish to create art with your voice and the wish to express your feelings, it always stays there, always, and till the moment you really express it. So yeah, I help people to discover the voice. I help people to understand how to use it in a sense of sound production, you know, like a musical instrument. So I'm showing people how to use the body, how to be aware in that, and I work in the psychological field as well, you know, like to yeah, to boost confidence of people, really.
I can imagine, because of course the way you express yourself, communication skills are so important in modern society, right? And if you have maybe some challenges around expressing yourself or the way you use your voice, I mean, you need to get trained, and you can really help people in that sense, right?
Yeah, and there are different fields as well in that, you know. For example, speech, that's one thing, and singing is another one, but they correlated between each other, because if you learn singing, it means that you're improving your expression skills first, and then you work with your voice as well, which becomes, you know, softer, more with the trust, you know, inviting. Just an example. For example, if I'll speak with you in this way, you know, and I will express myself like that, for sure the perception will be different, you know. Like, and whatever I will speak here, you would not perceive it in a good way. And there are people who struggle with that, because there is a gap between their personality and background and this, how do they sound, you know. And that's what I'm kind of aligning with the people. I mean, with experts, let's say, because they lead in the groups, but some people don't listen even them, you know, like, or they record in the videos and they don't feel, you know, that, you know, the confidence and drive let's
I
say.
understand, you know, because it's so important the way you come across, you know, and body language is one thing, but also your vocal aspect is very important indeed. Everybody would love to have a radio presenter kind of voice, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. But you can do a lot with the voice, is that right? I mean, you somebody that has a voice similar to the example you just brought. Can you teach them how to maybe have a more powerful, more grounded, more masculine voice? Can you
Yeah,
do that?
sure. Yeah, actually, so huge topic, really. So for all, especially for the men, but for all of us, it's possible to make the voice lower, more grounded, and more connected with the body. How do I perceive voice? That voice is the bridge between the soul, let's say, and the outside world.
Wow.
Because like if you, and also it's about how do you take space in the world. For example, you speak like this and you have this space, you know, like small box, or you speak with entire of your body and you filling up the, you know, the world with your sound. And this is how do I perceive it, because sometimes, yeah, just feel the sound, you know, the sound is, that's the thing. And actually all what we are seeing around is also the sound. This one is the sound, it's just all frequency. So, and for me it's about which frequency you are, you know.
Wow.
Are you high frequency, like somewhere there? And girls, women, they have tendency to speak like this, you know, very airy, you know, very like fairy tales, stories, and so on. And these personalities, let's say, they start from the childhood. Let's say the girl in the childhood came to mama and she said, "Oh, mom, can I have an ice cream, please?" And mom gave her ice cream, and then she like, okay, this is beneficial, you know, unconsciously, like this is beneficial to sound like this. And they start to collect this program and sound all the life like this. But when it's, you know, already adult woman, and you see this adult woman speaking in this way, you know, "Hello, I'm Christine, la la la," but in fact she has a background also, it's not correlated. And that's the thing, that this is the psychological part of it, because for me it's, the voice is a visit card in a sound field. I mean, when you speak with someone by phone and you never seen this person, for sure you have imagination, you know, of this person, how this person look like, or background of this person, and so on. So yeah, that's how I...
It's fascinating. I totally resonate. Actually, my girlfriend, when she speaks to my parents, yeah, she changes her voice. It's kind of funny. She doesn't normally, but when she speaks to them particularly, she sounds maybe like a younger girl somehow. I don't know why she does it automatically. But I totally agree with you. You know, it's like everything is vibration, and being able to portray a certain you know, energy to people is very important, right? And to have a personality alignment between your voice and the way you move, the way you stand, the way you are as a personality, I mean, these are important. And do you teach people also to change their accent, stuff like that? No, right?
No, I teach people only, let's say, first of all, I teach people to change sound quality. Then I teach people how to open up the body. I mean, it also affects, you know, the life itself. Then the feeling-wise, you know, how to feel confident. I mean, because this is two ways highway. I mean, two sides. The one side, your voice affect your personality, because if you speak like this, you perceive yourself in this way, like this direction. Or you work with your personality, like say psychology, and this affecting the voice on the back side, you know, like. And I teach people how to not struggle with, for example, you go in the public, and how to not you know, have this feeling, but feel free to express yourself. What I wanted to say, and about your girlfriend, you know, we speak with each person differently. Our voice changes with mom, son, brother, friend, because, you know, we put different feelings in that, and that's what's happening. Another thing I would like to share, that I work with the pregnant women, and I work in the field of, showing women how to work with their body while pregnancy, because my ex-wife, mother of my kid, we've been singing like to the womb a lot, and I've been investigating about how the voice affects the baby. And it's also a very interesting field because, yeah, the first organ, the sensational organ which we develop in the womb, guess what?
Hearing?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's ear. So we construct our personality and our actually structure of the body also with the sound, because the sound is the waves which comes to our ear, and then they as electrical signal go to the brain, so it wires the brain. It's very interesting field too.
That's fascinating what you say. Also, you mentioned that some people who have cardiovascular issues can help, or
Like heart?
Yeah, heart issues.
Yeah, like because the heart issues comes with the issues with the breath, because okay, I'll bring this topic here. The diaphragm itself is the first heart in the body actually, and people don't perceive it as this, because people don't think about the breath, because that it's an important thing. Why it's important? Not because of breathing, because the diaphragm pumps the lymphatic system in the body. Okay. And lymphatic system is regeneration, and it makes us younger, longer, and alive longer. That's why and people with the heart diseases, they have issues with the breath, so the heart start to take the role of the diaphragm and pumping the lymph, so the heart, step by step, getting weaker and weaker and weaker.
Okay. The voice seems to me indeed like an important aspect of every individual, and I didn't know that there were so many sort of benefits across, as you mentioned, psychology, self-esteem, the way you come across to people, all the way to actual health benefits as well, of bringing more awareness to the way you communicate, the way you use your voice and sound, right? It's really fascinating. And I know that you are mostly based in Pai these days. Is that true? Or
now, yes. I mean, I used to live in Koh Phangan 6 years. Now my landlord, he retired, he came, and so I don't have a place here anymore. A bit crowded as well. So yeah, I ended up to be in Pai. I have a good house there. So.
But you come down frequently, and I wanted to ask you. The question was, how do you work with people? Is mostly like groups? Is one-to-one? Is it online, or we need to go to Pai in order to work with you these days? Or?
All of it. I work online. For example, now I have students on Koh Phangan, and while I'm in Pai, I work with them online. Now I came just to meet them in person because I like my students, a lot, and I like to meet them. I work in the groups. I do the vocal intensives 3 days. For example, today I have a group like the 3rd day, and we decided to make 2nd stage. I work one-on-one as well with a lot of people, different goals they have, different fields really. And work online, offline. Also, I had the courses before, and I'm creating a new one, to have more kind of spreading my information and knowledge.
And do you still play music? I suppose that's a hobby of yours, so you kind of like,
Yeah, I play music a lot, actually, and in different variations of styles. And here in Koh Phangan, I perform time to time. Last time I performed in August, half year ago, before going to Italy at Art Market, and it was super nice. Like, people enjoy a lot, and I receive a lot of good feedback, so I'm so grateful. And I'm my keen is to perform all around the world, and also all around the world making the groups, retreats, and so on. In Pai, actually, I found a very nice place for retreats, so I'll lead there.
Very nice, because Pai is kind of the sister town of Sri Tanu, like we have lots of connection with Pai. Me personally, for 4 years, every November, I was in Pai. But because my last question usually is, why do you love Koh Phangan so much? Sure. And you did love Koh Phangan, you still do, because I think you're coming and going, really, right?
Yeah.
You have clients here, you have friends here, and you chose to move to Pai because you said that your landlord took the house back, is that right? I mean, originally, you told us the story of you coming to Koh Phangan, thinking it was more of a party place, but then finding pyramid and having a good time here. I mean, what is you and Koh Phangan at this stage? Is there some sort of contrast there, or you falling out of love with Koh Phangan, or you think maybe one day you might relocate back? You know, because I think that people like you belong to the island very much, because you're an artist, you're a aware kind of guy, you know, you are a coach. All these things are like what make Koh Phangan special.
Thank you, man, for that. Don't know yet, really. For me, Koh Phangan, yeah, I love the place. For me, actually, special place. Why? Because my son was born here at home, you know, and at home, which, yeah, my landlord, let's say, took. That was the place my son was born. So for me, it's a very important place. And yeah, I always, I mean, Koh Phangan always, or not always, already in my life forever, because, you know, yeah, this is the place my son was born. And in the sense of feeling it, yeah, I'm coming down. For example, people now asking me to come down again, I mean, to lead the groups, because people know me here. It's just, they know me, and, you know, my posters are everywhere. I post in Koh Phangan Conscious Community a lot of videos of my music and so on. And yeah, I'm keen to come back time to time, but moving, we'll see. Now I came for a while and I feel good. I meet my students, I meet people, friends, but, you know, through all these years, 6 years of living here, Phangan changed a lot. Like, I mean, it's never same island. But the best time was COVID time, you know. No people, just sure. No noise, absolutely amazing.
Utopia, yeah. We had an utopia during COVID. I mean, 500 foreigners got stuck here. Yeah. Some they came for a week or two holiday, they stayed 2.5 years. But yeah, these are very special times.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, let's say, buy land or something, build house here, but now I don't feel like it. I mean, maybe one time, you know, when I feel that it's already settled, everyone's settled, then okay. But now, pum, a lot of noise, construction, trucks, it's just like that.
And it is true that the island changes all the time. I've been here 7 years, every year has been different. So you need to like this dynamic change of the island, because you know for sure that in 12 months' time the energy is still going to be different. And the island is growing a lot. And some people really struggle with it. I try to make peace with it and just actually ride the wave, because, you know, but I also like Pai very much, to be honest. Pai is such a sweet little place. Is Pai changing as much as Koh Phangan? Not as much, right? Nothing is changing as quickly as Koh Phangan, I don't think.
I don't think so, but it changed for me, because this time I came there and I found a very nice house, and I settled there, so I feel a bit different, because before actually I was opposite. I was based on Koh Phangan, and I went to Chiang Mai and Pai to give workshops for 3-4 days and come back here. So I switched. The one thing I can tell about Koh Phangan, which stays the same, I feel that it's people whom I met 6 years ago. You know, it was Green Gallery that time, and a lot of things like, how to say, people who live here for a long time. I feel that they are pretty same, and it's not I mean, what I can tell, Phangan has a lot of parallel universes, you know, like you kind of live in your own bubble and you don't like feel something different. But yeah, some people, you know, do drugs here or something like that. Some people come here for wellness. Some people live here. Some people make families. So a lot of layers. And the root, anyways, is here. I feel that people who live here a long time, they kind of same in the sense of like making place better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Evgenii, it's been a real pleasure chatting to you, and yeah, I hope to see you in Koh Phangan very soon again after Pai. Kapun kap.
Kap, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. I appreciate your time.